What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Don Rico. Listen, can I talk to y'all for just a moment? I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I have these moments throughout my days where I just kind of sit alone by myself in silence. And I reflect on a myriad of different things, where my life, where it is that I'm at, where it is that I'm going, where it is that I intend on going, what is it that I desire, how is it that I'm feeling at the moment, what is it that I'm going to do throughout the day? I set up my calendar in a certain way. How is it that I'm going to perform while setting up my calendar and executing the tasks thereof? And a lot of times I give myself room and space to have very introspective thoughts to where I really deep dive as to who it is that I really truly am and what it is that I really truly want and why it is that I am who it is that I am and what it is that I am and why I operate the way that I operate. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know my opportunities of improvement, and I just know what the path forward is. So generally, these are conversations that I have with myself and with God. And the reason why I'm sharing this with y'all is because most people, and this is what I've come to believe after much introspection and much thought, and it could evolve over a period of time, but this is what I think. This is what I think it is for now. Most people are lost and broken because they don't even know who it is that they are. If you are watching this and you are lost and you're broken, it's because you don't even know who it is that you are. Think about it. If you ask most people, you can be, out and about, you could be out in public, you could even be living with some people. You could be at, your 9 to 5, you could be at the gym, wherever it is that you are. If you go out and you're having a conversation with someone and you ask them, who are you and what is it that you want, for example? I promise you, most people will not be unable to answer that question. They can't even answer the question as to who they are. And even if they do answer the question as to who they are, they'll say their name, they'll probably bring up their occupation, they'll probably bring up the fact that they're maybe a parent or this or that. No, the question is, who are you? Who are you as a person? Who are you? Like, what's your identity? Like, who are you at your innermost core? And if you ask them what it is that they want, most people, unfortunately, cannot tell you because they don't know. They don't know. They're lost. And they go throughout life with this lost mindset and this lost mentality, and they end up attracting more people who are lost. And this is how people become broken. This is why broken people beget broken people, because broken people don't have the answers. And they look for other broken people consciously and unconsciously to confirm each other's brokenness, A. And B, it feels better to be around other people that share your pain. And what I think the solution is that you just have to just lock yourself into your room, into your closet, wherever. Go on a walk by yourself. You just need to be by yourself. Honest to God, like, y'all need to learn how to be by yourselves. You need to learn how to be by yourselves. You need to learn how to have a conversation with yourself. Like, I'm not talking about like just talking out loud, talking to yourself, even though if you do that and it helps, then it helps. But you need to understand who it is that you are. Because you don't know who it is that you are. You don't know how it is that you need to operate on a day-to-day basis. You don't know what it is that you want. Like, for example, I can say something on the lines of, okay, this is what I want. I want to be rich because I want to provide a better life, quality of life for myself and those around me that I care about. But more importantly than that, I want to create an impact around my communities and around society. I want to leave this world in a better place than I first came into it. I don't want to be a waste of space on this earth. I actually want to contribute to something much larger than myself. I don't know what that is yet, but I am on the path to seeking and finding that out. And I'm going to start here. It could be something like that. It could be something like that. It's like It's not that you want to be rich per se. You want to make an impact. The best way that you can be rich is honestly just solving people's problems and adding value into the world. So what type of person do you need to be to add value into the world and solve these problems? Who do you have to become? You have to become a problem solver. What does that problem solver version of you look like? What does that person that adds the version of you that adds value into the world looks like? What does that next level version of you look like? A lot of you can't answer that question because you don't even know who you are. You don't know what that looks like. You've never entertained the idea of what you could be. You leave so much potential on the table. You leave so much of yourself off the field. You don't put it all out on the field or in the court on the floor because you don't even know who it is that you are. You can't execute with any degree of purposeful intent. And this is why I say lost people end up getting themselves into situations where they become broken, and broken people just begin and attract broken people. And honestly, I just think it just stems from the fact that people just don't even know who it is that they are. There's a reason why Superman, for example, his headquarters or his hideout is the Fortress of Solitude. It is an area of isolation to where he understands his roots and who it is that he is, and he remembers who it is that he is based on his origins, but also he's there to reflect upon, maybe his mortality or / immortality, who he is, what he stands for, what he represents, how he wants to contribute to the planet. Sometimes you just gotta sit in a room, just quiet by yourself, no phones, no social media, and you just need to figure out who it is that you are. And most people don't do that because I think they're just afraid. I think most people are just afraid of facing who it is that they are. They just don't know what's going to come of it. They're afraid to step into who it is that they truly are because they know deep down inside who it is that they truly are is trash. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because they have not done the work. They have not done the inner work. They don't know who it is that they are. They have not done the meditations. And I'm not saying that you got to meditate on a mountain or anything like that. What I'm saying is, when I say they haven't done the meditations, is that they have not looked inward to find out who it is that they truly are. What all the stuff that they like, the clothes that they wear, everything, they got that mostly from other people, from influencers of social media, their friends, their friend groups, so they can belong to a group. Like this need to belong to a group to fit in, to need validation, just so you can be liked and not be alone. To me, that's weak shit. Honest to God, it's weak shit. It's weak. To be authentic and to express authenticity, you have to go through some things, but you have to actually look inward to go through these things, and you got to be at peace with that, and then you got to move forward despite that. And you're going to, you know how I know who the authentic people are? They're not afraid of what other people think. They're not afraid of what other people say of them. They're not afraid of being the outlaws, the outcasts, and the mavericks. They're not afraid. They're not even afraid to, listen, they can start a different venture, whether it be a new business, whether they start their content creation journey, whether they want to go through a career change, or maybe if they want to change states or change cities or change locations, whatever it may be, or wear different clothes. There's going to be that period of loneliness because the people that they've associated themselves with beforehand, those are the type of people that are used to this version of you that's lost, that doesn't even know who you are because they don't know who they are. So then when you become someone who knows who you are and you're more self-assured and more confident as a result of it, and you just continuously every day do the work, they're going to feel as if they're being left behind, and they're going to try all type of things. They're going to mock you. They're going to do all types of things. They'll just say a whole bunch of things. kick you out of the barbecue or whatever it is, and they'll excommunicate you from the social group. And the reason why they do this is because you're no longer someone that they recognize, nor do they understand, because that part of them they have not figured that part of themselves out the same way that you have. And there's going to be a transition period of loneliness because you once belonged in a certain circle, and now you're in this in between where it's just you by yourself figuring everything out. You're more lonely than ever before. And that's when you really have to be intentional and deep dive as to who it is that you truly are, express that authentically, be authentically yourself, continue to do the work, and you end up, and by proxy, attracting the people that's supposed to be in your life. And those people are also people who know who it is that they are, what their purpose is, and they are also their most authentic selves. And I think that's the trick. I think that's the key. But I just honestly think that most people are lost because they don't even know who they are. And as a result of being lost, they end up putting themselves into broken situations and circumstances that leave them broken, that leave them with baggage, that leave them with trauma. And because they don't know how to come to peace with that, they attract other people who have baggage and trauma. And it's just a vicious doom loop cycle. And it's unfortunate because what if you die? And honestly, sometimes I think about this. What if you die and then you meet God and then he shows you, you know what hell is? Showing you who you could have been, what you're supposed to be, this highly idealized version of yourself that was supposed to exist, and you're just less than. Because you just weren't intentional. You wasted your years and your days on foolishness, and you didn't put it all on the floor. And it's unfortunate. Listen, I live in this apartment by myself. I have no choice but to deep dive and figure out who it is that I am. I have no choice. I'm left by myself with my thoughts every single day. At first, the silence was loud. It was deafening. But at the same time, it was trying to communicate something to me. Now I understand and have a relationship with myself in such a way that I honestly believe that most people on the planet don't have. And I say this all the time to myself and even to other people. And you know what they do as a result of me saying that? They laugh at me and they mock me. And I'm cool with it. I'm okay. Because they don't know. They just don't know better. Either they're just blissfully ignorant or they're just willfully ignorant. And you have to understand, most people operate based on the program of what it is that they've been taught, and they think that that program is correct, and because it's correct, it must be true and whatnot. But it's actually true because you believe it to be so, not because it actually is. Y'all might have to rewind that, just figure out what it is that I'm trying to say, but that's what I think it is. Like, people just need to go back into whatever cave or whatever fortress of solitude or back cave that they set up for themselves, and they just need to be by themselves. They just need to be alone with their thoughts. No phones, no social media, no nothing. Like, sometimes you just need to sit in the silence so that you can receive the downloads that God is trying to give you. But people are just afraid to sit with themselves because they don't have a decent relationship with themselves. And because they don't have a decent relationship with themselves, they live purposefully. They live without purpose because they don't even know who it is that they are. They haven't even discovered their own instruction manual as to how it is that they work. And because of that, they fumble and get into situations to where they get lost, and then they end up being in situations and attracting certain situations of people who are also in that lost journey. And they get into these circumstances where they go through things that leave them broken and traumatized and full of baggage. And that just begets more broken situations and more baggage, because that's the signal that you put out there because of what it is that you go through, and you're colored through your life experiences, and because you have not done the work and because you have not come to peace with it. That's what it is. And most people on the planet operate that way. But I'm not going to operate that way. And the reason why I'm having this conversation with you guys is because I just think, honestly, it's something worth sharing. Like, people just need to have a good relationship with themselves. Y'all are so used to pointing out windows instead of looking in the mirror that sometimes you don't even know who it is that you look like. You sometimes you don't even recognize what it is that you see in the mirror. You can't look in the mirror and say, I love you. You always are quick to find some flaw. You can't do it. And it's unfortunate. And listen, I'm not even going to trip on it because I have an awesome relationship with myself. And I'm encouraging y'all to do the same. All right? Just some random thoughts on a Monday afternoon for y'all. All right? I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Maybe I'll be out and about when I have this conversation with y'all next time. Deuces, y'all.